All right, what's up, guys? Favorite Amazon driver here. We need to talk about baby boomers real quick. Let me get on first. All right. So, me personally, you asked me about baby boomers. My first response is, I don't have nothing to say. And the reason why I say that is because nothing I say will be nice to a baby boomer or about a baby boomer. From the standpoint of the baby boomers was a real irresponsible generation and group. Biblically, it says pride cometh before the fall. You have a lot of people complaining that our current generation, the Generation Xers, Generation Z, and all of the following after the baby boomers are worse. So we're getting worse, right? Pride comes before the fall. So the reason why the generation, white, black, Mexican, Asian, whatever have you, the reason why the generation isn't where people so-called want it to be is because of how they were reared. And baby boomers, literally, they were the group that could have took it to the next level when it came to ownership, when it came to economics, finances, the family unit itself, right? But instead, when the men got back from war, World War I, World War II, Vietnam War, most of them went into drugs and crime because they didn't have the resourceful skills that were needed at the time to work within the factories, within the industrial complex system. So they went to drugs, they went to pimping, they went to becoming drug dealers, right? The women, they decided to formidably help the government move the man out of the home while starting the feminist movement, distracted from their own civil rights movement. This caused the family unit to be broken up, disintegrated, degraded, erratically removed. But now you have a lot of baby boomers that have so much to say about the generations that followed them, and they're the ones that gave us these traditions, belief systems, and methods of civilization. So again, how come people are so willing to take credit for great things, but they're not also taking credit for the horrific things that they're involved in? That's the baby boomers. Literally, you have 60, 65, 70, 75-year-olds still talking about marriage. While in the same token, their kids are out here in a chokehold from life. Straight up chokehold. Can't even breathe. Can't even keep our, or can't even keep their heads up above water. Because he wasn't taught anything but ignorance. Literally uneducated based on obnoxious living, riotous living. You're trying to give a person advice by telling them what not to do versus teaching them how to do it. Oh, don't do that. Don't date her. Don't date him. Then you look at this person's resume, your mother or your father or your uncle or whoever they are, as a baby boomer, and you look at their resume and it's like, yo, you had 3 kids, 4 kids before you was 40. Now you're looking to get married in your 60s. But you're trying to give your 30-year-old daughter advice about marriage or who to be with. You've never taken the time to literally support a man's success. But you're trying to tell your daughter as a single person how to manipulate the situation, not maneuver. You have no experience, no successful experience. You have nothing but failure experience. So give me failure experience. Don't just tell me what not to do. Tell me what you did wrong so that I know not to trip over that hurdle. A bunch of y'all parents is drug addicts or were drug addicts when they were your age, and they haven't told you. They have not told you. A bunch of your parents were straight up whores. Straight up. but they didn't tell you. But if you take a good look at their resume, you might have one child with one man. How many children does your mother have? And how many baby fathers is in existence of that? Is your brother or your sister sharing the same father that you had? These are questions you have to ask yourself, but this is exactly why I am so critical of the baby boomers. Because we out here literally having to stay liquid and fill every gap that they left open. Literally. If your parent was a baby boomer and they're still working to this day, that should tell you something. But people want to act like they don't see it. When we gonna draw the line in the sand and stand up for our generation? We working with what we have. We are working with what we have. A lot of baby boomers in specific communities haven't done anything to set the next generation up for success. You failed. You failed. And then when you bring the facts to particular baby boomers, they're going to take the high road and not address the situation. They're going to make it seem like we're overreacting. Baby boomers, you just sucked. Pride cometh before the fall. You were the pride group. You were the group that exercised all of this power. Y'all literally left the civil rights movement on the table. Just left it there. You left it for feminism. You left it for drugs. You left it for drug dealing and pimping. You left it for black exploitation in my specific community. How can you have so much to say with all of this ignorance and lack of education? I know a couple baby boomers where, like, y'all literally was forging signatures and scamming. Doing all types of stuff to make yourself seem more powerful or more formidable to your kids. But then your kids grew up and they saw the BS. They saw it. We see it all the time. An uncocked generation, a half-cocked generation, half educated, half experiential, half intelligent, but so critical of all the generations behind y'all. But when those few in our generation and the generation following are doing well, y'all want to take credit for that. But y'all don't take credit for all of the dumb shit that you helped create. These mindsets, the handout mindset. You don't take no credit for that. And it's despicable. It's despicable. You baby boomers, literally, why do your kids still have to live with you if you did such a great job? These are grown-ass adults, 30, 40, 50 years old, still playing video games in your house. But because they got their little job at Walmart or Amazon or Safeway, it's all good. As long as they pay a little bit of rent, it's all good, right? It's all good. Some of the things that you guys defend yourself with is even worse. Being overprotective and, you know, being a disciplinarian. You was beating Some of y'all was beating the shit out of us kids because you was mad at the baby father for leaving. You was mad at the government for trapping you once you figured it out. Yeah, they'll give you free money and free checks, but that man can't be there. Now you need help. Now you need support, but you remove the man out. A lot of you move in regret. You baby boomers, you move in regret. And then when we put your feet to the fire, you have these buzzwords like, I was being overprotective, or I did the best I can. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Being overprotective is making sure you teach me all the resources that you have, even if it was one. Making sure that you took your experiences, you exposed me to those experiences, and then you explained to me what you would do differently or what I should do differently. That's the real overprotective. Putting me in a situation where I can protect myself. But a lot of you are so insecure in this overprotection, that's the only thing that you can say. I don't want to be overprotective to my kids. I want to make sure I put my kids in a position where they're protected overly so that they don't even need me. You got parents that's been drinking for 40 years, then their kid becomes a weed head, and they'll say to their kid, I didn't teach you that. You didn't teach me what? You didn't teach him what? You didn't teach her what? You abused alcohol. They tried to abuse alcohol, passed out at a party. So they stopped alcohol. Now they're smoking weed. It's still abuse. It's still substance abuse. But this is what the baby boomers have been doing. Because technically they don't have a mind of their own. Remember, just 60 years ago, 60. 24 minus, that's 2000, minus 40. So 65 years ago, 63 years ago, 64 years ago, we were 3/5 of a person. Guess who was the group that had to experience that? The baby boomers. Oh, woe is me. But what did you do for the people behind you? What did you do for the people behind you? The way the world was treating you as 3/5 of a human being, what did you do having all of these children? You lost focus. Woe is me. Well, we can't do anything but this, so let's just do this. Have a bunch of babies and get more government money. How did that help the generations prior? You're still living in the same house you lived in when you was 20, 30. Still living in the same apartment building or project building or trailer park when you was 30, 40. What type of success did you put on the table for your kids to glean from? What type of academic education did you put on the table for your kids to glean from? I'm sick of the baby boomers. I'm sick of their opinions. I'm sick of their lies, their silent rebellion, their quiet deceit. I'm sick of it. And if any baby boomers are watching this video, take a true look at yourself. Take a true look at the people you surround yourself with. Take a true look at your kids. Take a true look at their kids. And look what you breeded into this world. How are we supposed to maintain a certain level of power? How are we supposed to retain a certain level of academia and education? How are we supposed to sustain our economic and financial freedom if y'all ain't teach us none of that? Man, I'm gone. Deliver my damn packages.